Oops. Okay. Thank you, Facebook friends. Can somebody check the YouTube and see whether it's working or not? Poor things. My friends, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So can you see now? So I apologize for the interruption. Okay. Are we good on Facebook? Okay. Friends are back. Sorry for the interruption. Something wrong with my computer charging, but it's all sorted now. So whenever something good is being done in samsara, somehow or other, there always has to be some obstacle. But we are good with all the Dharma synergy here. We managed to get everything up and running again. So, which is fantastic because now that we finish our breath of meditation, so we're going to do the 3 exhalations and then we are done. Okay, so breathing in and then we expunge the still air 3 times forcefully. So, wonderful. So, you're back on track. Is YouTube working? I see something not so right somewhere. Working, huh? Okay. Thank you for being my eyes and my ears. So we shall go to uh, the main practice. So now the purpose of this meditation is to observe your feelings as feelings without getting caught in the story. So now, whatever feelings that arise, just note that they are feelings. They are not your feelings, but they're just feelings. Okay. So basically, during the time of the Buddha, so in the Majjhima Nikaya, story number 36, the Buddha describes his own experience during his path to enlightenment. Yeah, he recalls how he observed pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings. So, as you know, feelings are categorized as pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, isn't it? So, without being moved by them, and because he was not following the feelings, he did not attach to it, he did not try to suppress it, he did not try to control it, and he just observed it without any awareness, without judging. So this led to a crucial insight. And what is that insight? That insight is that feelings come, feelings go. Feelings come, feelings go. It's just like butterfly come, butterfly go. Birds come, birds go. You can't catch them, isn't it? I mean, basically, you can't catch air. So it's like feelings. It's just like air. It's not. You're not meant to grasp at it. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes. Okay. So now there is a story in the. This is Chinese Zen master, Chan master. Have you heard of Hui Ning? Hui Ning. How you pronounce it? Hui Ning Faster. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, my pronunciation not so good. Okay. So one time he heard that one of the meditators were complaining about physical pain. Yeah. So then his advice is that when you experience pain, don't label it as my pain. So like I told you, it's not my pain, not your pain. So observe it only as sensation arising and then staying for a while and then passing away. Whenever you can sit here actually. Yeah. So you look at the clouds in the sky, not that there's very many, but you know, so it's like the clouds come, clouds go. Yeah, the sky remains unaffected, isn't it? So there are clouds in the sky. So just think that in your sky-like mind, your mind is as vast and blue and crystal clear as the sky. Your mind. And whatever comes are just like those dark clouds on a rainy day, or just those fluffy cotton balls, that you see on a crisp, Monday morning. Let's say no one likes Monday morning, isn't it? But anyway, let's make Monday morning pleasant by having beautiful clouds in the sky. So all these are advantageous. They're not permanent. They're not like a part of you. So that's how you should, practice uh, Vedananupassana. So now, so direct attention to whatever feeling that you have now. So once you're already in a comfortable position, right? Like I believe that we already are. Right hand over left hand. Put a smile on your face. Back straight. Okay. Now, your job is just to observe your feelings, whatever feelings that arise as your feelings. So now, many of you have issues with your legs. You have problem, yeah, in your knees or in your back. It's very difficult to sit, isn't it? So now I want you to use that, the sensations that arise, what kind of feelings they generate, whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Okay? So pleasant is sukha, unpleasant is dukkha, or neutral is adukkha or asukha. It's neither painful, unpleasant, or not pleasant. Okay? So just watch. So within this 5 minutes, whatever feelings that arises, you just observe the arising of this feeling and the passing away of these feelings. That when you hear something, for example, so whenever anything from outside of you, yeah, any external sound, smell, sight, you know, any kind of sensation, anything that is related to your eye, ear, nose, body, and even mind, even a memory. You could have a very unpleasant memory at this point, or a very pleasant one. So now you just notice that whatever that is in the memory is just look at it in light of it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. But I want you to observe where it comes from. Where does it come from? So if you have any pain in your leg, for example, immediately because of that sensation, because of that tactile sensation, feelings will arise. So in the Buddhist teaching of dependent origination, after the sixth link of uh, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, the six sense bases, when you have the six sense bases, your six sense bases are like waiting for something to come and touch them, you know. So it's like it's basically it's like a fly trap, and you're waiting for the fly to come and then get itself stuck in the glue, or bird trap, you know. So when I used to work in orang asli villages, and also uh, I went out with them, and then they showed me how they trap birds by gluing, you know, gluing the birds, putting glue onto the branches, and then the birds will come. But it's a natural glue, made gum actually. It's gum made from the gum from the tree, and then they put the gum on the tree bark or the tree trunk on the branches, and then when the birds come, and they get stuck to it. So it's painful, isn't it? When the birds get stuck to it, then you know what is the fate of the bird going to be. They will be sold, or they may be killed. So this is very dangerous, this sixth sense basis of ours, yeah. So each time we wait, we are like open book, you know. So we let all those sensations, all those outside stimuli come and stick to us. So like we are like putting glue, you know, come, stick onto us so that it will drain our mental energy out. Good. Mm. So observe. So at the sixth, when you have your six sense bases, whatever that comes will come in contact. Okay, so that contact, once contact comes, immediately feelings arise according to dependent origination. So you see now, can you hear something? So that's the time your ears will go to that, the sound of the water. Ear is your sixth sense base. The sound of the water is an external sound, right? So that sound travels, the vibration touches your ear, which is your ear sense base. Your ear base generates an ear consciousness, and the ear consciousness is sort of how to say, it's there is like some sort of a translation going on. It's translated into pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Just now, you just test it. Whatever that you hear, you smell, you see, you touch, you think, you smell, or you taste, the moment anything from outside hits any of your six sense bases, including your mental, your mind, which is the past, the future, the moment the contact comes, you generate feelings. Feelings will come instantly, they will arise. So now sit down here and test it and see. First, we heard the sound of the water. So it may have been an unpleasant feeling for you because we always want things to be calm. Suddenly something comes and disturbs our mind. Oh, then that moment something comes is called the moment of contact. And the moment of contact, immediately after contact, there will be feelings. And when feelings arise, we note the feeling. Just your job is just to note the feeling, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Just note. So there are hundreds of external stimuli like the sound of the thunder now. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Sound of motorbikes, which, you know, sound of honks. And then, some sounds just go directly like drill into your mind. Yesterday I had migraine. Yeah, so that's why I sent the announcement a bit loud. I mean, late today. So the migraine was of epic proportions. Yeah, it was the slightest sound would generate so much pain. And it was almost all the time unpleasant. I think it was 99%, maybe 100% unpleasant. I could not even stand to hear my own voice. Very unpleasant. Any smell that came was so nauseating for me, extremely unpleasant. So yesterday was the day which was extremely stressful towards the evening, where I could any light. I had photophobia. Any light, anything touches my eye, it's so much it's unpleasant feeling. Any smell, unpleasant feeling. Any kind of touch also, like anything cold touches my body, unpleasant. Anything hot, unpleasant. Yeah, especially sounds. People, anybody able to whisper also will be unpleasant. So all I wanted to do was just like abandon all my six sense bases and just, go into a sort of like a snake hole and just stay there, away from everybody, something like that. So during those times, you really, really have to contemplate on this impermanence. So now we are not having migraine, right? And if we are, then note how your mind is reacting to this sound, smell, taste, touch, mental images, memories, pleasant feeling arising or unpleasant feeling. Just take good care not to turn that pleasant, unpleasant into grasping at like and dislike. Don't do anything. The moment you do, you're starting to grasp. And when you grasp, grasping is the root of nirvana, the samsara. So when you let go, you're in nirvana, we say. And if you grasp, you're in samsara. Samsara means unpleasant cyclic existence, suffering. Nirvana is everlasting happiness. So letting go has the feel of nirvana, peace, bliss, happiness. Grasping is has the characteristic of samsara. So the more you grasp, the more you are in pain and causing and creating the causes for suffering and pain. And the more you let go, don't worry, it's okay lah, pleasant, unpleasant, who cares. But the moment you translate it into I like and I dislike, that time you're spiraling into suffering. You're creating the causes for pain. And that's how we get reborn again and again. And it's all because of our greedy mind. We like something, we don't like something. The mind of greed, the mind of hatred, all fueled by that ignorant mind. Watch how the ignorance is trying to trick you to grasp at something that you like and push away something that you don't like. And we are so primordial. We are so primitive, we don't even know that we have been tricked into autopilot. Whatever we like, grasp. Whatever we don't like, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing. Then we create those karmas, and then we create the causes for suffering: birth, old age, sickness, and death. So now rewind, rewind, rewind. Stop. Which point to stop? Stop at the point of feelings. We can't throw our ears away or can't gouge our eyes out. It doesn't make any sense. We have those six sense bases, but we are human beings. We have very great ability, human intellectual ability, to stop us from becoming slaves of our emotions, the feelings. So the moment we feel inside our minds that we are grasping, stop. The moment we feel that we are pushing away something we hate, stop. How to stop? By being mindful. Your job is just to note whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Nothing more than that. And notice the moment you are trying to go and grasp at something already. It's so dangerous, it just doesn't even take a fraction of a second before it turns from just knowing it's pleasant or unpleasant and neutral to straight away reacting. So we are not going to react. This is where we put a stop to reacting and just being in the realm of observing, just like you're stepping outside of your mind, like watching the TV of your mind, like watching television. You're not the actor in the television or the actress, isn't it? So, in the same way, now whatever that you see, you feel, you touch, instead of reacting, just observe. And the moment you observe what happens. So, don't get caught up in that drama. It's not your story, it's just phenomena arising. Our greatest mistake as human beings is that we think it is my story. We take everything so personally. This sound we don't like, it becomes personal. So you take advantage. The moment you react, you're taking ownership of that sound. The moment you react, you're taking ownership of that smell. It's not your smell. It isn't even your feeling. It's not even our bodies. Because our bodies are not even ours. We are five elements. Feelings, perception, mental factors, consciousness, and all these things, we are made up of parts and are completely interdependent. Nowhere there is an I that you can pinpoint. Yet, we want to grasp. And what is causing that grasping? You can feel that internal gravitational pull that's called ignorance. That ignorance is the one that is telling you not to observe, but to participate. You're not going to participate. You don't listen to the ignorance. Don't let ignorance trick you. Don't participate. The moment you participate, you take ownership, it becomes yours. And the moment it becomes yours, my smell, you like, you dislike. The moment you like, you dislike, you're already bringing it, it reference to yourself. Don't take things personally. Just remain neutral. Whatever. It's okay, let go, let go. So your job is not to participate, not to grasp, not to cling. Observe. And when you observe, you become a happier person. When you let go, you become a lighter person. Your load becomes so much less. Don't take things personally anymore. How painful it is. Even the smallest thing you want to take so personally, you'll die of stress. And very soon to get heart attack. Okay? So very important. Understand these very basics. Okay? So now continue. Right? So notice anything in your body, any physical. So from outside, so you know what to do. Don't react. Just observe. And notice any emotional feelings in the mind, any sadness. Suddenly your mind will go back to the past. Ayo, something happened. Then you start taking ownership again. I like, I dislike. If it's a painful feeling, you will dislike. If it's a nice feeling, you will attach. So primitive. Stop it. Just stand back and observe. Don't participate. Don't get involved. We are control freaks, always control. We want to control everything. A control freak is somebody who, and why people like to control is because people who control are the ones who take everything personally. And the more you control, the more you suffer, not other people suffer. Yeah? So now, as you're observing your feelings, they arise. So feelings, they have to arise. Whenever anything has contact with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that time a feeling arises. So it's either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. But once it arises, you also have to notice whether it ceases or not. And obviously it will cease. Some feelings are so painful, it takes so long to dissipate. But remember, the feeling of sadness comes all of a sudden, very intense grief, one day it will dissipate. It will cease. Happiness also is not forever. It's joy. It arises and it will cease. Irritation also, it arises, it ceases. Now, go back into the laboratory of your mind and see it for yourself. So, from observing, now you investigate. Yeah? First, you were observing. What is it, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? So now you start investigating. Where does it come from? This feeling. You know when something touches you, something springs up. But what is the driving force for you to like or dislike? It's from within you, yeah? And what is it? Can you grasp at it? What is it? And does the feeling stay the same? Does it even stay at all? Watch where it goes. Suppose you have an irritation feeling now, or anger or sadness. Watch and see whose feeling is it? Is it your feeling? Watch it and see whether it has any color, shape, any kind of. Does it have any? How many kilograms is it? What is the measurement? What? How long? How wide? What is the texture? Can you grasp at the feeling? And the feeling may be so overwhelmingly sad, heavy feeling. The unpleasant feeling is so heavy that it feels like a ton. Okay, how many tons? Can you grasp it? Can you measure it? And the moment you start to investigate, something miraculous happens. The moment you understand what you're looking at, what's happening inside of you, that understanding arises when you look at it and investigate it in the laboratory of your mind, and slowly it disappears. Just like it came, it disappeared. It was never yours to begin with. When we take ownership, my feelings, I am sad, I am happy, I am angry, my anger, my sadness. I think let's not take life too seriously and too personally. Yeah? That's why we become old very fast and die quickly also. Right? See the impermanent nature. Watch it. So just as Hui Neng Faser said that, it's not your pain. So it's merely a sensation arising and passing away, like clouds in the sky. So the Buddha said that some feelings arise with the body as their basis, which is the five sense basis. Yeah, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. These five sense bases and the feelings associated with it. And the second is the mind, like, dislike, happiness, unhappiness, all this, you know, in your eight worldly concerns, meaning what? Pride, sorry, praise and blame, good reputation, bad reputation, happiness, unhappiness, yeah, gain and loss. So everything is dualistic. And the more dualistic we are, the worse our life quality is. So observe, past and future, all these things, everything is coming in a package of dualism. Why? Because we are dualistic beings. The moment we realize that we don't exist as we truly are, I mean, that like this, then the moment we question our own I identity, that's the time we are starting to break down dualism. So question anything that has a dichotomy, pain, happiness, everything is a play of our mind. Everything is actually as it is. We are the ones who put a value judgment on it. And that's why we suffer. Understand this. And then the Buddha said some arise, the five sense bases and the body, the feelings, and some feelings arise from the mind, and some feelings arise from both body and mind. There's one story also. While you're meditating, I want to tell you a story. Okay? I don't know. This is a Mahayana story, but I cannot pronounce names, so I'm so sorry. Okay? Master Cao Su. Is it Cao Su? Was asked by a monk experiencing emotional pain. So sometimes in your meditation, you get so emotional, so much of pain because of some past, how to say, memory. Yeah. So the monk asked, "How do I work with this overwhelming feeling?" So if you're experiencing some feelings which are overwhelming, yeah, now are you? So go back and see in your own mind, like for example, now in while you're meditating, whether you have any sad feeling or very happy feeling or guilty feeling, irritation, something like that. Yeah. And some people, their feelings are very, very strong. Okay? Close your eyes now. Close your eyes. Don't look at me. Meditate, meditate. Now is the only time. Don't once you open your eyes, you're inviting the sixth sense, to go outside again. Go back inside. Go back inside. So, yeah. So the master Zhao Zhu replied, "Let them be overwhelming." When the monk was complaining, "Ayo, the feelings are so overwhelming. What to do?" Then the master telling you, let them be overwhelming. Let your feelings be overwhelming. So, but the disclaimer is, let the feelings be overwhelming, but don't serve them tea. So what does it mean? This points to the practice of allowing feelings to arise, yeah? But don't engage them, don't participate, don't feed the feelings. So that's why the master's saying is very profound. Don't serve the feelings tea. You're not supposed to be having a cup of tea with the feelings. That means entertaining the feelings. You're supposed to let them go. Yeah? So don't feed them through mental proliferation. Because one thought will become two, two will become four, four will become eight, then after that 64. Boom. That's how your mental chatter becomes more and more, and you create karmas and you diminish your mental energy and you become all miserable. Yeah, just from one thought. Right. So now, any questions? So now, I would like you to, the third part is to expand your awareness. So the first part was observing, the second part was analyzing where it came from and where does it go. And don't attach, don't latch on to it, don't take ownership over it, don't serve it tea, right? And now, towards the end, you are going to gradually expand your awareness. So see how each feeling is actually just a natural process. It's not created by nature, it's not created by yourself, it's just natural. So allow it to arise and allow it to pass, but see very clearly where it comes from and where does it go. They're not yours. One more time. Just have a look at it. So you're supposed to fully experience the feeling, each sensation, anything that arises from the body or mind. Explain it, experience it without adding any mental commentary. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is good. Oh, I love this. Oh, this reminds me of that. Oh, no. Just observe. Once you start having mental commentaries, that means you're no longer observing, you're participating. So, in the Kagyu tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, Milarepa's student Gampopa, he told his student, yeah, he used the example of physical pain. So, if you're experiencing physical pain right now, so Gampopa said, he instructed his students to go directly into the raw sensation. So, separating the pain from your mental chatter. So, if you're having pain now, I invite you to go into that pain. Don't say it is my pain. Oh, too much pain. Just look at pain as it truly is. Just look at the pain. Zoom into the pain as it truly is. And if you're sleepy, now don't entertain the sleep, because if you sleep each time you meditate, you will become a sleeping meditator. Right? So now when the sleep is overwhelming, so like the Master Zhao Su said, don't serve the tea. So if you have extreme pain, it's very unpleasant feeling, don't serve the feeling tea. Don't entertain it by saying, "Oh, so pain lah, aduh, I need to get medicine, this and that." As a meditator, your job is just to observe, not to entertain, not to participate. And if you are sleeping, right, don't worry, don't judge yourself. Don't sit down with your sleep and have a cup of tea and then the sleep will take you away. So it will proliferate, it calls mental proliferation. Even sleep also is actually a proliferation of your what? This dark states of mind that you have. It's going to proliferate your bhavanga state. You're going to go deeper into an abyss. So stop it. So you just watch the sleep. Watch it. Watch the sleep. Don't entertain it. Just watch it. Go deep into it. Look at it. Look at the sleep for what it truly is. Yeah, so challenge yourself. So this is a very simple thing to do, but nobody ever does it. So when you're having a headache, look at the headache and challenge yourself to look at the headache. And then if it's a minor headache, but if it's a very, very difficult, painful one, of course you might need some medical intervention. But if it's just a mild headache, look at the headache and don't say it's your headache or my headache. Just look at it that headache has a reason. So what do I do? So meditation is so practical. It's not in the realm of just sitting down in your cushion. When you're walking, sitting, sleeping, doing your job, etc., pain comes, unpleasant feelings come, what to do? Disengage. Observe. So that's how you use it in your daily life, yeah? So how to know what to do in your daily life? When you sit on the meditation cushion, you are actually training like a commando. You are getting trained. When you get up from the meditation cushion, if something happens to you, because you've already trained on the meditation cushion, and what did you train? You train yourself, not you train yourself. When it is painful, just watch the pain, go into the raw sensation without any mental chatter, without any narratives in your mind. Watch the pain, watch the sleep, watch the headache. And then if there's a painful memory, watch that regret, watch that emotional, that intense grief. Just watch it. It's not your pain, it's not your grief. Grief is grief, it arises as a natural process, but it will dissipate if you allow it to. Most people cannot recover because they don't want to let go. So if you lost somebody, a loved one, actually through causes and conditions, our natural way of being is that it arises and it passes away. And we feel guilty. We say that if I let go, I will be forgetting the loved one, and the loved one won't be happy with me. And you purposely latch on to that grief because you think that that grief is, just like a memento, of your loved one. That's not true. A memento of your loved one is to live in the present moment. If you really love your loved one, you live in the present moment and enjoy every single moment truly, and dedicate those memories to your loved one, not hold the grief And then, think, because nobody wants to let go, because we think if we let go, that person will, we will forget that person. We'll forget the deceased, our loved one, you know. And then it's like we have betrayed our loved one. That's so untrue. If you really want to honor your loved one, live your life in the present moment. Every single moment, live fully. When you're sitting on the meditation cushion, feel the cushion, feel the wind, smell the flowers. All your five senses, use it, you know, but do not latch on to the feelings. Just acknowledge when a beautiful feeling comes, it's beautiful, and that's about it. Let go. When an unpleasant feeling comes, let go. So then you're living fully in the present moment. So the moment you start to grasp at something, then you're taking ownership of something which is not yours. And because it is not yours, and you want to take ownership of something that doesn't belong to you, you end up creating the causes and conditions of suffering and coming back over and over again in samsara. So that is the basic truth of our existence. So the faster we realize it, the better it is. Okay? So when the Buddha talked to a monk who was struck by severe pain, the Buddha asked the monk to practice Vedananupassana. Vedananupassana. And how did the Buddha ask the monk to practice? Note three aspects. Number one, note the impermanence of the feeling. So when you're in intense emotional pain, somebody left you, your boyfriend rejected you, or your marriage has broken down, or you have, you're in financial ruin, so much emotional baggage, so much pain. What to do? Realize that, understand that that feeling is impermanent. And look at those feelings. Look at the raw feeling of pain, despair, grief, anxiety, tiredness. You just had too much already. You just want to end it all. No, don't end it all. Just end the grasping to all. No need to end the life. End the grasping and you'll be happy. I wish this message goes to everybody on planet Earth, that the point is not to pull the plug on your existence, on your life. But the point is not to end your life, but is to end that unnecessary grasping and taking ownership of something that doesn't belong to you. If at the moment of the feeling arises, we can let go, we are the victor. Victory is ours. Understand that, yeah? Please understand. And understand the non-attractiveness of the feeling. Feelings, whether it is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, it's actually, if we grasp at it, its inherent nature is suffering. So whatever feeling that comes, oh, I'm in love, so blissful, oh, lovely, fine, but don't attach. Just acknowledge the feeling is there, but don't attach. The moment you attach, you have expectation, and you create a lot of suffering for yourself. I'm not asking you to be robots, because once we are in love, you really want, everything, the whole world is beautiful. But then again, we want to control the partner. We want to be forever with that person, and when that person goes away, we suffer. We want to end it all. So I say, end the idea of grasping at the feeling. Just cherish your time with your loved one. If you really truly love your loved one, you will not grasp at the loved one. Like somebody who held a pigeon. There was a story of somebody who held a pigeon to the pigeon. He loved the pigeon so much. Was it a dove or a pigeon? I can't remember. So this teaching story is somebody loved the pigeon so much that they kept the pigeon, like grasp it in the hands, the two hands, and then it's sort of like how to say, the pigeon was like stifled to death, and literally the pigeon died. The person loved the pigeon so much, the person really smothered it until it died. So don't we do that to our relationships also? We smother our relationships until our relationships die. That's because we want to control. So the moment we learn how to let go, when we let go, our relationships flourish. Give space. If we can't even let go of our feelings, so how can we let go of the person? So basically, once we are adept at not at just observing and letting go of pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, then we stop creating the causes and conditions to grasp and create attachment. Once no more attachment, Then we are cool with everybody. Everybody is nice, cool. Yeah, I have my this person, the person with me, fine. Not with me, also fine. Yeah, you're at peace with everything on earth. And isn't it a wonderful way of being? It's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, let's not, be too stressed about stuff. So there's one more story I wanted to explain with from Milarepa. Milarepa is the teacher of Gampopa, and he's the most famous enlightened yogi of Tibet. So Milarepa's biography contains a teaching where he explains to his students how he practiced with intense physical feelings during his cave meditation. As we all know, or maybe many of us might not know, that Milarepa actually just dressed in cotton. Yeah, one cotton like a rope, very thin, and it's the middle of, and he meditated in the cold cave in the middle of winter, and Tibet is forever cold, and in winter it's even colder. Yeah, and the and he- according to Milarepa, he said this: when cold bit into my bones, I observed the sensation without aversion, without judging, without seeing. He just knew it's pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, but he did not create those attachment, and so once you know it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, so for him the feeling that arose was unpleasant, but he quickly disconnected. Say it's just a feeling. He observed the feeling, and the feelings arose, and then it passed away. Right? So he said, when hunger, gnawed at my stomach, you know, when hunger gnawed at my stomach, I watched it as merely energy moving through the body. So can you imagine? He only lived on nettle, He did not have coarse food like we have. So he only lived on nettle, and he was actually really emaciated because he wanted to spend every single moment of his life practicing. He didn't have time to eat. Yeah, so he only ate nettle, and his body turned green. And when he was hungry, he said, I watched hunger as mere energy moving through the body. Through this practice, what were once sources of suffering became objects of meditation. So the entire point of today's Vedananupassana is whatever feelings that arise is your object of meditation. That's all. So you don't have to become slaves of your hunger or your sleep or grief or physical pain. Once you learn how to observe it as arising, abiding, and ceasing and passing away, you no longer have ownership over your grief. This grief is not yours. Anger is not yours. Pain is not yours. Yeah, cold is not yours. So I would like to, invite any questions now. If you have any questions, now is a pretty good time to ask. Anyone? Any questions? Anyone? Mm-hmm.
if if I'm doing some work and I'm dozing off most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
is it known as ignorance too? Because I wasn't focusing my work.
So when you're dozing off, it just means that you're tired, or you had a difficult day. So don't judge yourself. Ignorance is the quality of not knowing where your mind is at a particular moment. So sleep may not necessarily be ignorance. It's just manifestation of tiredness and depletion of your mental energy, right? So ignorance is when you don't know how your mind works. You do not know how you truly exist. We go around the motions of life being enslaved by pushing, pulling, like, dislike, running to the past, going after the future. We're just going round and round in circles like hamsters. So that is ignorance. Ignorance is that when we truly grab things, grab. So wisdom is when you start to let go. And I'm not saying that you let go of your job and you go into a cave. Letting go doesn't mean that, when your friend is falling off a cliff and then you just, so, but I was taught by my master to let go. Bye. Ah! That's not how, wisdom is letting go from inside the tendency to grab. That's letting go. So when there's a tendency to grab at something, that means when you're sleepy already, okay. Ignorance is when you're sleepy, you say, I want to continue sleeping more and more. So you become a sleep buff, like, you know. Like you just become a couch potato, you just want to sleep, you don't want to work. That's ignorance, okay? Manifesting because you start to attach to your sleep, to sleep, right? So when you are hungry, then you keep on wanting to eat. So when you're hungry, it's natural, you want to eat. But ignorance comes and tells, why just be happy with one meal? Eat like two, eat another chocolate, eat an energy bar, put entire energy bars in your bag, constantly eat. So you know what it means? Eating constantly means that you are grasping at the food as a source of comfort. Sleeping, and too much is grasping at the sleep, you know, because it's a source of comfort. And then latching on to somebody like a boyfriend or girlfriend because they are a source of comfort. So they are all external sources of comfort. The internal source of comfort is what? So breathing in, I'm aware, I'm breathing in. So basically, the internal source of comfort, the everlasting source of comfort is when you are in the present moment. And the present moment arises when you are focused on one object, and anything that is single pointed that you focus to the exclusion of all the other five sense bases and mental, chatter, that is comfort. Because that's inner peace. Going inside here and resting in the true nature of your mind. That is the supreme comfort, right? So we are comforted by what? I'm comforted by my chocolates in the fridge. So depressed people who are depressed and who are stressed, they need instant sources of comfort. And how do we comfort ourselves?
Going back to yourself.
Usually, the way going back to ourselves is a everlasting and safe way, everlasting happiness and joy. Safe way, right? But what do we do? What brings us comfort? We indulge in alcohol, indulge in psychedelic drugs, indulge in relationships, indulge in TV, indulge in mobile phones, indulge in sex, indulge in what? Food, indulge in sleep. So basically, a person who is depressed will latch on to more external things as a source of comfort. Yeah. And even those who are not depressed, normal people also will always grab at things outside because they are comforting. Little do we realize that the actual comfort is actually here. The supreme and the safest and the most blissful comfort is right here in your inner universe through the door of meditation, using your breath as the key to your inner universe, mindfulness as the anchor that grounds you to your breath, which carries you to your inner universe, and there you rest. And they say resting in peace when somebody passes away. I say, why do you need to die to rest in peace? That's your birthright, and that's the right, that is your right while you're alive. So don't rest in peace after you die. Rest in peace moment to moment by being fully in the present moment, observing your feelings. Any other questions before we end this session today? Yeah. I know it took us like extra 10 minutes just now because we were what? So, in a couple of minutes, I would like to end the session. So, if you want to have private conversations with me, we can do that after I end the YouTube and Facebook. So, any other questions? Right? Any questions, suggestions, complaints? Yeah. So, I just have one more thing to say before I end this. Okay. Okay. I have three masters that I want to quote from before we end the session. The first is Shantideva from the 8th century. He's an Indian master who is, one of the Nalanda Pandits. So Shantideva said, when pain and pleasure come, observe their empty nature. Behind the apparent solidity of feeling lies spacious awareness. like your clear light mind. So Master Dogen, 13th century, he said, to study feelings is to study yourself. The self, actually, not yourself, yeah? The self. There's a difference. To study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be enlightened by all things. So therefore, once you study the feelings, you study the self. When you study the self, you forget the self. When you forget the self, you achieve enlightenment. That's all. And then from one Tibetan master, okay, whether bliss or suffering arises, recognize their nature as empty awareness. This is the heart of Vedananupassana. Okay, so with this, I thank all of you for your time and your effort. And I would like to end this by thanking all my gurus, because whatever that you have heard from my mouth this evening is not mine. I have learned from all my teachers, and the songs that I sang to you is from the Plum Village tradition, taught by my teacher, Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, my late teacher. In fact, the teacher is forever there. It's not late, it's always timely for me and all my gurus, and especially to the historical Buddha, for all the teachings that are meant to awaken the mind from the slumber of ignorance. So I will chant the ending supplications, dedication of merits in Tibetan. So when we dedicate the merits of our practice, let us dedicate it to the benefit of all living beings, for the happiness of all living beings, and for the end of suffering of all living beings. May all living beings awaken to their true nature and be able to uproot the defilement of ignorance from the deepest recesses of their minds, become fully awakened moment to moment, and permanently awakened to the state of enlightenment. We wish this for all sentient beings, including ourselves. So you can dedicate it to those who have passed away and those who are still living, who are sick, who are in difficult situations. Please dedicate this merits very strongly to them. And Venerable and I will chant our closing verses. Sunam di tham che zipa ni tho ne ni pi dana pham che ne ki ga na chi ba la prupa yi chi pe to le do wa sho Champe pavu jitara kenpa ta kuntu zampo te yan te shinte te ta kungi jesu dalo jingi vadi da tam che rab tu ngo Tu soi she pe ge wa tam chi ki ngu wa ga la cho tu nga pa di ta ki ki re ta wa di gu chan zang po ju ji ngu wo ke wa kun to yanda lama dan drame che ke pala lun ju ji sada nam ji yun te rab zu de do je chan ge go pha nyu to sho sang ge ku sum ne pe jin la chu ni min ju ro te pe jin la dan ge tu mi je tu pe jin la ki je tara no wa mon lam ro pa re sho pa den sa ve lama rim po je da gi chi wor pe me ten shu la kadren chen pe go ne je zo te Kuson tuge ngoto tsa tu se pa den la me nam para thar pa la ke che samya lo ta mi ke shi che ze le para thong ve mi ke la me chen la sem la ju pa re sho Lama kukan zan la solva dev chotu kutse ring la solva dev trile dashi ki la solva de lama dan da var me pare jingi lo chasa vadan chuji shapa dan jisu yiran kushi suvai ke wa chunze dagi chi sapa tam chi zupe jan chu ji ngovo Janju Semcho Rinpoche Maki Panam Ki Juriche Ki Pa Nyampa Me Pa Yang Gone Gondo Pe Varesho Tunyi Tawa Rinpoche Maki Panam Ki Juriche Ki Pa Nyampa Me Pa Yang Gone Gondo Pe Varesho Rinyi Tawa Rinpoche Maki Panam Ki Juriche Ki Pa Nyampa Me Pa Yang Gone Gondo Pe Varesho Chopa Tsime Rinpoche Makie panam ki juruchi ki pa nyam pa me pa ya gone gondo pe wa sho. We dedicate this marriage to all living beings that they will be able to purify the ignorance, attachment, and hatred in their mind stream. And by this marriage, may they be quickly liberated from the ocean of birth, old age, sickness, and death. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sabbe Sattva Bhavantu Sukhita. So, thank you.